Welcome back to the Align podcast. This is a place where we have open and honest conversations about personal development, life mastery, business, and all things related. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Tom Waller. Tom, how are you doing?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Did you have to read my name there? Did you forget it?
No, I wasn't even reading anything. I don't know what I was looking at then. I was actually just thinking about what I've got to say.
So good. It's good to be here. It's my favourite day of the year. We have a few of them every year. What day is it? It is a bank holiday Monday.
Bank holiday.
So good to be, like you said, it's amazing driving through the traffic, isn't it?
It was just like, there was no one else in the city. It was like Walking Dead, just totally empty.
I did something on my post this morning in the gym. It's like, bank holiday, whatever. And I just came up with this morning, bank another day. So instead of bank holiday, bank another day.
Yeah,
I thought it's true. Like I'm banking a day's worth of, and we're going to talk about compounding effect. It's quite fitting.
Yeah, it is.
When everybody else is losing a day.
Yeah.
And that came, I don't know if I spoke about this last week, but I worked out, like if you get up, I don't know whether I said this on the show last week. If you get up 2 hours early every day, did I say this before?
You said it on your story, which I saw, which
it's
is
5 years.
Crazy, yeah.
So instead of getting up, like most people get up, like from what I speak to, 6:45. If you got up at 5:45, you've got 5 years on everybody else. It's insane.
And 5 productive years, because those 2 hours in the morning are when you're going to get more done than any other time of day.
Well, it's so true, because Sarah's like, oh yeah, but you go to bed early. I'm like, well, I go to bed probably latest 10. A lot of people do. But those who stay up later than that, they ain't working.
No. Not if they've been productive throughout the day.
No.
Nobody's productive at 10 o'clock at night if they've been working all day.
Not if you put the effort in before. Anyway.
Nothing happens at night. Nothing good happens at night. Everyone who stays up late, most people who stay up late, and me personally, when I used to stay up late, I was watching telly.
Yeah.
I was just sat doing nothing.
Watching TV, and nowadays watching TV and scrolling at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is insane. Sarah caught me out last night. It was hilarious. We'd had a really good day yesterday. We managed to get Sophie down quite early. I was like, let's watch a film. I put a film and Sarah's like, no, I'm going to go do some writing. So Sarah's writing what's going to be an amazing book. Mm-hmm. I sat there for literally another 5 minutes watching this film. I was like, nope. Off up to the study, do some work. Couldn't. But it's so easy to fall into that. And then, there are times to sit down and chill and watch a film if you want to, but this was some rubbish with John Cena and Jackie Chan, dude. It was awful. Right. It was awful.
It sounds terrible.
And I was like, no, I'm done. But yeah, so Sarah called me out last night. Anyway, what's new with you? What's good?
I'm a bit dusty, mate, to be honest, because I've just spent the weekend for my sister-in-law's 40th, and we had like a barn conversion, big, nice place for the weekend, and hot tub, and I didn't get drunk, but I had 2 or 3 beers maybe. No, I had 2 beers one day and I had 1 beer the other day. And I can tell. Yeah. I feel like not quite right.
Just drops it.
I've been going, I went to bed later as well. I was going to bed like 10:30, 11. Wasn't up early, didn't have a cold exposure. And I can just tell. I'm just a bit dusty, but had a really nice weekend with family. And I didn't mind it. I didn't beat myself up. I didn't feel bad because it was just nice to be with the family. But yeah, it was a really nice weekend. Yeah.
And I think that's important, like to realize where you can slip or you can just enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
And then back to it.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. I don't think at all.
No, I had a really good work week last week. Not that you should reward yourself with not doing anything, but yeah, I got a lot done. I had a really good, productive week and really moved the business forward with Film Flow. And then just took some time with the family and just relaxed, which I'm really not very good at doing. So
it's hard, isn't it? Like I'd struggle with. Interesting, we've spoken about this with inertia before, and you've had a really good work week, and it's great, but it's also important to just, even on those days where you're chilling, maybe just do one thing just to keep the wheels turning. Yeah. And it only need be 5 minutes. It might be a message to someone. It might just be something to keep the wheels turning.
I mean, this is the funny thing when you say that. Like, I think that I had the weekend off. I was checking leads and like on my phone and doing bits throughout, but I wasn't. So it's not like I'm like, I don't have a business anymore.
No, exactly. You can't be.
It's just never even like that.
But that's an interesting thing that people don't realize when they don't have a business.
Yeah. So having the weekend off means not being sat at my desk working and like filming, and but I was still always aware and in the business and doing little bits. So yeah, but that's just how I'm built. So it's
well, you have to be built that way if you're going to create anything. But I mean, it is great to have that time off, and it does help the body to just recharge, reset.
Yeah.
No, it's important because even the non-negotiables we speak about, family's a big part of that.
Yeah, huge. Yeah.
I think it's important.
I think it's so on a normal day and even on a weekend, my day is structured around productivity and like life and not life, but business. Like I'll wake up and my morning routine preps me to get into business, and then the work happens throughout the day. And so and then the fun and the other stuff is sort of just peppered in. But this weekend was the other way around. Like it was all about family, but the business was just peppered in. Like if that makes any sense.
That does make sense. And
I don't know if that's the best
how
way.
I flow my weekends.
Yeah.
So that's how I do that the same. Like, well, most days now with Sarah and Sophie, they get up a little bit later. Mm-hmm. Like I'm up, I'm out, I'm gym, I'm work, and then I'm ready. Mm-hmm. Like we've come in to record early this morning, so that 9:30 I now have a good solid few hours family time.
Yeah,
and that's the bulk of my day today is going to be spending time with the family, because over the next month I'm away nearly every weekend working.
Yeah,
so you've got and that's something we've spoken about before. Seasons, like what season are you in? That season can change in a month. That season can change in a week. That season can change day by day. Like how are you moving forwards with that? And go back and listen to that seasons episode if you are interested.
And I've got I've been in a real season of work lately. Like I've been super focused on work and producing content, and I'm putting out some amazing things for chiropractors. And we're going to do an episode on accountability, I think, and other areas of my life have taken a hit noticeably.
Yep.
And it is really hard to be all in, for me personally, really hard to be all in, flawless in all areas. Like it's just such a struggle. But yeah, definitely. Maybe we should do another episode. Have we done a full episode on seasons? I think we should maybe do one.
We can follow this one up with the seasons episode.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for Thursday's episode on seasons. Anyway, we're talking about compound effect. Go for it, Lee.
Compound effect. So what is the compound effect, Tom? Just so in case people haven't read the book or never heard of it, how would you describe the compound effect?
So the compound effect is the accumulation of doing certain things over and over again to get a result. Oftentimes one big action doesn't create the change that's needed to produce something. And the person who's best known for the compound effect is Warren Buffett. Mm-hmm. So Warren Buffett, a serial investor, but until the age of 50, no one really knew who he was. But his investments compounded over time, whereby when he hit the age of 50, he was one of the wealthiest people in the world, if not the wealthiest person in the world. Mm-hmm. So the idea is that you do these little actions on a consistent basis that eventually create what it is that you are aiming for. Mm-hmm. And it's that compounding over time. Another thing Warren Buffett is famed for saying is it's not about timing the market, it's about time in the market.
Yeah.
So a lot of us wait for the opportunities to arise and things to happen before we jump on them. And that would be trying to time the market, trying to wait for the perfect opportunity, when actually we should be spending time in the market. Regardless of what's going on, we're continuously putting investments into ourselves, into our business, into whatever we're trying to improve, our body, our physique. And then over time, it will have the effect that we're looking for.
Yeah, and I would just tie that back to crypto as well with Bitcoin. Like everybody's like, when shall I buy Bitcoin? Like that's why I say dollar cost average and hold it forever.
Yeah.
Because that is the time in the market. That's what will make the difference. So it's consistency over intensity, you would say.
Yes, 100%.
So it's not about going all out hell for leather for a month, which I've been guilty of.
Yeah.
But it's more about doing those consistent smaller acts over years.
Yeah, it's bigger picture thinking, like what's the result you want? What's the big result that you want? And quite often if we go all in and just drive onto something for this short material gain, we wane, our enthusiasm stops. It's not necessarily why we haven't got the strong enough reason for doing it, and then we fall apart. And then you look at these people who suddenly are amazingly successful and you say, well, That just happened. You're lucky that happened overnight.
Overnight success, yeah.
But you peel back and they've been working, chipping away little by little by little by little by little over a long period of time that's created their amazing success.
Yeah, and I see it in my own personal development journey as well, because it's been 10 years, and it's funny because I'm really bad at looking back at like where I was, and I judge myself harshly, and I think, oh, I've got so far to go and I've got so much to do, but then I've got friends who are really good at saying, look where you were, look where you've come from. And I look back over 10 years and it is consistent, just bits of personal development over and over again, continuous reading, continuous learning, continuous implementation. And then, when I look back now, it's like, whoa.
It is amazing. Your journey is incredible. And a lot of people who listen to this, who want to be where you are, want to be where I am, or want their practice to grow or their business to grow. And they just want to happen overnight. They want to hire someone to do it for them, happen overnight. You need to hire the right people to help you do it, but it does not happen overnight. And people sometimes aren't prepared to put that work in. Like, you want a successful practice. If you're listening to this on a bank holiday Monday and you're not doing any work, you're going to struggle. Like, it is relentless. It's something every day. It doesn't have to be crazy work, but you see people who are successful. They do something every day of the week. Like, they work every day of the week. And it doesn't have to be massive amounts of work. It just has to be something consistently moving forwards.
And it's, say, if you're a chiropractor and you opened up a practice and I said to you, okay, cool. Tomorrow, this is your first week in practice. Here's 300 patients. You're not ready for that.
No.
You need to build up. It's like why the majority of lottery winners are bankrupt within 5 years, because they haven't built the money mindset over the years of work that it takes to become wealthy and become the sort of person who deserves to be wealthy and can be wealthy and has provided enough value to earn that wealth.
Yep.
You have to earn that.
Well, it's a really interesting thing with chiropractors, and you see it with new graduates. They take someone on. Now, to get someone better, from the majority of things, obviously takes time. And realistically, it's going to take at least 6 months, if not 12, 18, to change how someone's health is. Now, you take a new graduate who has never seen a person for more than a couple of visits at the university. They have no idea what an 18-month journey looks like.
No.
So they are not ready for those people to come in. And that is something that they have to build over time. And it has to come all the way back from, are you compounding your confidence, your certainty? Then are you actually compounding the effect that you are working a lot of hours to see a lot of people to gain the experience? Because people look back at me and go, how can you work 2.5 days a week or 2 days a week and see so many people and still have a thriving practice? It's because of that compounding effect over time. Years ago, I was working nearly every day of the week, seeing double figures new patients, having nowhere near the success I've got. But it has to be built up over time.
And that's what I've got written down next. Time is the crucial element. To say I don't have time is to say I don't want to.
Yeah.
And just to put in the time, but it works in a few different things. So there's two angles there, really. Time is the crucial element, has to be put in over a long period of time. And then the other part, which is to say I don't have time is to say I don't want to, is priorities. And if you put your personal development, business development, and all of that before everything else that's fun or enjoyable or instant gratification, then it allows you to put in that time over the long term.
When people say they don't have time, it is absolute bullshit. You just either don't want what you're saying you want enough, or you well, it's basically that, or you're just a lazy motherfucker. Like, people, it just blows my mind. I don't have much tolerance for people who say they don't have time anymore. I just don't have the tolerance anymore because everybody has time. And it is intrinsically linked to what you said, that the time journey is the long time journey. Because if you're taking your result, what you want to achieve over a long period of time, the end result, then you do have time every day to get it done. Whereas if you shorten the distance from where you are to what you want to achieve, then the amount of work that needs to go into achieving that, you may not have time each day to get that done. So the two are intrinsically linked.
So good. That
was good, wasn't it?
That was so good, yeah. Go back and listen to
I didn't realise that one.
That is very true. If you want everything done in a year, you ain't going to have time to do it. But if you're looking at the next 10 years and you spread that out, you will have time. That is good.
So what are some excuses that people might come up with for not having time? I'd love to hear those.
Yeah, I don't really know. Kids, I think, is one.
Kids is a huge one.
Which I can't really talk on because I don't have kids, but you do. And
just have to get up early and go to bed later.
I still see you in the gym every day, mate. So yeah, you still obviously do it. What?
And I was in the gym yesterday morning.
Yeah.
I was in the gym yesterday morning at 5, Sunday. And I thought, I'm the only one here. The next person to come into the gym is a young mum of 2 kids. I was like, because she knows Sarah. I was like, she said congratulations. She said, oh yeah, it's the only time I can get in while they're still asleep. She said, exactly the same. My kids are in bed, I'm here.
Same thing, priorities.
Yeah.
Just putting yourself first as well there so that you can
I don't have time. I've got housework to do. Well, economize your housework.
Yeah.
I've got my other business to do. Do your other business, then do your other work. But again, it comes down to this whole like, if you're working heavy in a business and you want to create your own other business, you have to think realistically how long is this going to take for the transition to happen. Like for instance, I've been coaching for probably 7 years now, and I'm still not at the point to transition across for that to be my main business.
No.
That is the aim in the next 12 months, probably. But I haven't had the time if I wanted to just instantly flick the switch.
Yeah.
But if I take it over, well, it's going to take me 10 years to transition from full-time practice to full-time coaching. I've got plenty of time.
Yeah, exactly. And you wouldn't have been able to do what you've done with the practice had you gone all in on coaching. So it's, you have to prioritize is what we're saying there. And I don't want to stay on what other people talk about excuses. So I'm going to move on.
Cool.
So the compound effect is not just in self-development, it's not just in positives, and it's not just in investing, but it's in negatives as well.
Yes.
So you can compound the shit just as well as you can compound the good. So some negative things that you can compound, I don't really want to dive into them either. I just want people to be aware and be careful that if they compound the wrong things and they just think, oh, it's just a little bit of this.
Do you want a little example I used to compound negatively?
Yeah.
Every time I get petrol, I buy a chocolate bar.
Okay. Yeah.
I fill up twice a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that just compounds.
Yeah.
It's the little bit, it's just a little chocolate bar now. It's
Yeah.
just, and these little things just add up and up and up and up. And no wonder I go and get my check-in with Craig and he's like, the fuck have you been doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
But these tiny little things, these negative compound, or the compound effect of putting social media on first thing in the morning or putting the news on first thing in the morning.
Huge.
You're compounding negativity into the brain.
Yeah.
So, people know those negatives. You just need to just get rid of them and replace them with good habits.
Yeah. And then momentum. Do you want to just talk about momentum? Because I know that you like the topic.
Yeah.
But that's one thing that goes in both ways as well. If you start to roll downhill and you don't catch yourself, that momentum will continue to accumulate, and that chocolate bar turns into more and more, right?
Momentum is the driving force behind the compound effect.
Yeah.
It's consistency and persistent pursuit, which I believe we've spoken about before.
Yeah.
Those consistencies that you're doing every day and repeating it and repeating it and repeating it. And momentum has to be built so it becomes easier. Whereas if you just don't have a run or you don't have an exercise workout, you don't have clean eating, the momentum's building the wrong way. And momentum and the compound effect are really the same things. You think the momentum is you pushing this snowball, and the compound effect is how big this snowball gets as you roll it down the hill. Mm-hmm. If you are pushing that snowball and it's just filling with rubbish, then it's going to be a big pile of rubbish over the period of time. Mm-hmm. Whereas if your momentum is pushing to clean snow and growing this amazing machine and beast that you want to create, then whatever you want to achieve, you'll get there. You just have to have enough time, enough momentum to get the result that you want.
In summary, the compound effect will change your life, whether that's for the better or for the worse. So be very careful of the media that you're consuming, everything that you're consuming in any way, shape or form, how you're spending your energy. Those two things, your thoughts, your feelings and your actions are the things that really compound, I think. So what you're putting in your mind, how you're thinking about your future and your present and your past. Like if you're dwelling on the past and you're constantly feeding into an identity that is a negative one, that is something from your past that's happened, and you're constantly identifying with that will compound in the future. And then if you are looking towards your future and feeling the way you're going to feel when you achieve the things that you're trying to achieve, that is going to affect the actions that you take every day. So your thoughts affect your feelings affect your actions, and then your actions are what create your life. So they're what compound.
I would agree with that. And then the actions that I would then take on, so that's the deep work that you have to do, and that's the foundations. And then the actions that I would compound on a daily basis would be compounding your investments every day, whether that is your financial investments or training, like in yourself to become better. So invest in you, your health, compound that every single day. Compound your relationships every single day. We talked about sending gratitude texts to people, talking about telling loved ones that you love them, and then compounding your faith or your certainty in whatever you choose to be faithful in or certain in every single day. And if you are taking those actions to change your thoughts and your feelings and then apply these actions every day, you will be a better human being in a very short space of time.
Yeah.
And an incredible human being over the long period of time it takes to really get the fruition of the compound effect.
Those topics there that you've just said, thoughts, feelings, and actions compounded over time, like you say, you can't not be better. You want to round it off, mate?
Well, thanks for listening to the show today. If you got something from this episode, then please do share with your friends. Let them know. One of the other things that compounds is the people you surround yourself with. If you want to surround yourself with other people who are really winning, then make sure you share this show with them, get them on board, and drive them forwards. If you're listening to us on your podcast platform, make sure you go across to YouTube, subscribe over there, leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. And make sure you stay in line, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you.